What's going on?
All right.
Okay, it's 8:30. I'll call the meeting of Board of Supervisors, January 2nd order. Could we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
With that, I would look for a motion to approve today's agenda.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And then I look for a motion to approve the minutes for January 2nd.
Make the motion that we approve the minutes of January 2nd.
Second. Okay, motion is second. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we'll go ahead. Brian's here from Hyde Bailey, our auditors. So we're just gonna move him on up and get him out of our way. So we're gonna move down to number 10. Brian, are you online?
Good morning.
Morning. We have your information here. I'm not sure if everybody's had time to digest it all, but you have the floor if you would like to talk about it a little bit.
The report was issued mid-December there, which is great. It was nice just to be able to finish it up before the new year, get everything squared. With Susan taking over, so we kind of let Selena take the ball to the finish line, finish everything up. The audit went really smooth. There was no single audit this year. The federal awards were less than 750, which is different. The last couple of years we've had the single audit. The financial results, I hope there's no surprises in there. When you look at that, you'll probably want to look at page 18. You do a lot of things on the budget basis. This is actually accrual basis, but it's going to line up pretty well. Probably the biggest thing is, overall there was a decrease of fund balance of about 850,000, and most of that coming out of the local option sales tax fund. So the local option sales tax fund started the year with a balance of 1.2 million and ended with 600,000. So that's probably the biggest takeaway is that, a lot of those funds that were being accumulated in the local option sales tax fund have been spent. A lot of that was, capital projects. I know there was a lot of sheriff office improvements during the year that was spent. So the money that from the local option sales tax fund was transferred to the general fund where it was spent, and a lot of those expenses were related to the sheriff's office.
Yeah, Brian, I want to bring the other two supervisors up to speed. From Susan and our perspective, we know that we used that amount of money in the last moments of the budget to balance the budget. We knew that we were headed down a bad path, and that was our only way to get the budget balance. So that is not a surprise. We did that. That was done.
Yep.
Fortunately, on purpose.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's probably the biggest difference or takeaway,
Right.
okay, this happened. Everything else, either a small increase or small decrease of fund balance. And there is a budget to actual statement in the financials as well that you may be interested in, and that is on page 44. So you can see revenues came right in where they thought they would be, and then expenses were a little less, which is completely normal to give yourself a little cushion on the total budget. But other than that, really no big surprises. As far as audit results go, those are at the back of the report, and there's no really new things. We always have a finding for proper financial statements. It would be best if the county prepared their own statements, but there's also a balance there of, how much staff and how much training do you want to put into that. So that's nothing new. And then audit adjustments is nothing new as well. The biggest audit adjustments we had was to increase capital assets. Um, just as we do our audit procedures, we happen upon additional assets that should be recorded in the county's books. And then we also have segregation of duties, which is, same as last year. Sheriff's office, treasurer's office, being the big ones, and then we also do our audit under state code, which brings in state compliance items, and those start on page 61. And the budget was exceeded a little bit there. I think I just saw that on page 44 um, in one function. So that's one of the comments. County environment and education was over budget by 19,000. Um, so that's one of the comments. And then we also disclose any related parties, even if they're not what we call a conflict of interest. So we're required to disclose all related party transactions, which is on page 62. But you really should be concerned with any conflict of interest, which is related party transactions over 6,000 that haven't been competitively bid. And there was none of those. Um,
And it's a hard one to get around with such a small community, so.
yeah, it's more of a
Keep your thumb on it and keep track of it is important, yeah.
yep, you gotta be aware.
Yep.
And then the new comment here would be on the page 63 at the very end. We did run into a spot, with all the capital projects that the county was doing over the last 3 years. We did notice that some of the sheriff's upgrade projects were not, with all those projects, there's public hearings, there's notice to bidders, there's a lot of compliance items to get published and to get lined up. And we did note that one of those were not public hearing and public notice. And that's the very last, the 2024 IAJ. But no, we were very, very happy it went smooth and very happy to be able to issue it in December, which is, I don't want to say rare or not uncommon, but it's always nice to be able to finish it up in December and not have it roll into more of the your budget season and everything else.
I want to look into that one on the sheriff's office, because I know we took competitive bids. Um,
Yeah, this might be more on the public hearing for the roof.
okay,
Um, not so much the if you did it, but if you did all the publications that go along with it.
all right, we're gonna look into that. I mean, we want to do it correctly, so we'll find
Mhm.
out where we stubbed our toe here and try to get that resolved so we can move forward.
Yep.
Okay. Very good. You guys have any questions on that?
No,
And then as we digest this information, you're available, we can reach out and through emails or whatever and ask
Yep.
questions and try to.
Absolutely. Any questions you have, we want to make sure we're answering.
New supervisors here really have a tidal wave of information that they're digesting right now, so it's gonna take a little while. Yeah, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Kind of bringing us up to speed here.
Sean, I have
Yep.
a question. Can I ask him a question? In the past, different boards have made loans of taxpayer dollars. Does that show on the audit anywhere?
If there's an outstanding loan, it is represented in the balances of the fund balances, and there is one loan included in here for 150,000 on page 60.
Is it legal to tax people and then loan money out?
It's completely legal to loan money out. Yep.
It is, okay.
Yep. I mean, as long as you have a public purpose, then yep, it's no problem.
Okay, Brian, thank you very much, and we'll reach out if we have any more questions.
Great. Thanks. Have a good meeting.
Have a good day.
Yep.
thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye.
Okay, I would encourage you when you have time to, there's a lot here.
Yeah.
I've found, for me, the most important part is about the last third. It's the things that we're not doing exactly right, or we've, like I said, we've stubbed our toe somewhere that we can learn from, that we didn't do something quite right. So, at any time if we've exceeded our budget or whatever, you'll find it in the last report.
Okay.
So that's the takeaway on that one. Okay, Adam's here, so let's go ahead and take care of him while he's sitting here. Adam? how are you today?
All right, things are going well. You know, we were all prepped up for the big snowstorm that never happened.
That's okay.
Which is fine.
That's okay.
Which is fine, you know, it's saves us time and money on that, so. Today and the rest of this week, and as long as it's not snowing, we're gonna be doing a pretty big tree clearing project up on X61 up around the power plant. There's a bunch of trees that are going over the road and they're hitting the equipment, and you know, my general thinking is trees are a great thing, but not on the right away. They are a potential accident, a potential liability. So I sent a letter out to all landowners up there a week or so ago, and had some comments and all that. So we're working through it. So that's going to keep us busy as long as it isn't snowing. Other than that, we got a few, you know, equipment things and stuff
I
like
don't
that.
see anything in the forecast that's showing anything major
There's a
coming.
potential Friday and another on Sunday. I mean, it's cold, so anytime there's a little bit of moisture,
Yeah,
it will snow. But so
I don't think they were talking a lot though.
not a lot. So other than that, you know, just again working on budget, working on my budget presentation. You know, has some equipment things I'm looking at. We're looking at a track loader, a skid loader. Use that for, you know, brushing and concrete and pavement removal and stuff like that, and a bunch of other things. We're looking at that spray truck that we talked about last year, you know, to spray brush and stuff like that. One thing that is a little unexpected is our end loader up in Junction. It's a 1992. Many hours ago, but it's kind of rusting out. You know, anything that has a lot of salt on it, we're looking at options there. Maybe we get a used one for about 100 grand or something like that. Apparently that one we bought in the mid 90s for almost 100 then, which is kind of crazy. So anyway, we're looking at those things. You know, again, trying to pick which projects we're looking into as well. So, so anyway, that's what we're up to. And any questions or anything going on?
Now we got the generator up and running yesterday. I don't, they said there was a switch flipped. Tracy and I ran it for 15 minutes and it never shut off. So
Okay.
That's a good deal.
Is that the original from the 70s? Yeah.
So we appreciate you able to loan your mechanic in case we needed it. So,
Yeah, sure.
but as of right now, it's working.
That's good. That's it.
That's it.
All right.
Great.
Cool.
Working on your budget, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
I'm getting budget slowly sifting in, so.
Yeah. So, you know, I guess the thing on our budget, you know, we've put in the bank almost 700,000 over the last few years, so we're probably going to try to spend some of that. We've got some bridge things that we need to get done. I'm looking at a shed to put some salt in, and whether that could come out of our budget or help with some of the lost or not. You know, just looking at options there. So anyway, just try to get things locked up for the future, you know, so.
Sounds great. Thank you, Adam.
Sounds good.
Let's go to number 5, meetings attended. Did anybody have any meetings this last week?
No, I didn't know. Yeah, sounds like I got a few next week.
Yeah. Welcome to Board of Supervisors. I had conservation yesterday. Kind of business as usual, really. They didn't have any applicants for the new board member.
Oh, really?
None. So they're gonna go back to the old applicants that were put in years past and call those people and ask them, hey, are you still interested? If you are, is there any changes in your app, or do you want to reissue another one? So we're gonna go back to that and try that.
And we are posting it in the newspaper this week too.
Yeah. Hoover Nature Trail, all the sales are done. They netted $5,200 on those little bitty squares of land in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So that helped. We're doing some disc golf park up at Eden Park, way out there past Combs Junction. Again, that money doesn't come from within the county. That's got its own trust that was donated on the death of that person. The land and all that equipment and upkeep is paid for out of that trust. So they're gonna do some disc golf up there, which will be really cool. And I got their preliminary budget numbers. So, and I also got the sheriff's budget numbers. So they are sifting in and I got it working out for us. Yeah. Been talking to Susan about where we're at, and she's been talking to Vicky about getting the final numbers, and it's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
I would like to try to set a time to get all the department heads into the room and kind of explain to them roughly kind of where we're at and where we're going. So they have an idea of what to do, what to expect. You know, we have our union negotiations on the 24th.
Yeah.
So that's coming up too. So anyway, that's where we're at on the meetings.
So Sean, the actual day is the 24th.
The 24th at 10 o'clock at the complex.
Okay, and then we're having a strategy meeting next.
After the next meeting, yeah. I think Brandon texted back that he wouldn't make it.
Right. Yeah, that's not
We'll just be in here.
Okay.
Things off. You got that email, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out where we're at, where we're going. January and February are generally you're hustling. There's a lot going on. How about the public?
Anything on the Sam Wilson case?
Haven't heard anything. Nothing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought you said that you wasn't gonna fill that conservation until Sam Wilson case.
So, according to Adam, his term was actually up on December 31st. So it's over. If the judge says, oh, you gotta put him back in his position, before then, that's fine, we put him back, but now that his term is up, we can reissue another person into that seat, so. That's what we're planning on doing. I didn't have any payroll changes this time.
Yeah, I thought there was.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
it was one for C.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's enough on there. Thanks, Adam. Have a good day.
I just emailed them to everybody. So
Yeah.
I do have paper copies.
I appreciate that. Again, we do not rule on it. The department heads do this, but they give us information on what's going on. Who's coming, who's going, who's getting a raise, or a longevity raise, I guess. And then there's 2 jokers in here that you guys, you're in. And then the 2 outgoing people.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to number 8. Susan went from real estate and election clerk to auditor.
Mhm.
And when she's auditor, she doesn't accrue time, vacation, or anything. She's strictly salary. So this payout would be from her time as last year-ish, in her previous position. So this is payout of the vacation she's accrued, comp time, casual times. You'll see these occasionally when people retire. And usually the retired people, it can get pretty substantial.
Yeah.
And it'll perk you up when you see them. I don't know if it's something that the board is interested in talking about and looking at, but once you see them go through, you'll be like, wow. I was always interested in capping it, yeah. I mean, vacation time is given to be used. I don't have a problem with a little bit of it rolling over, but when you get to they've been here 20 years or whatever, and they've got 6 months of vacation.
They can accumulate that if there is in the handbook.
Is it?
Yeah, that's what I
I
seen.
think it's like, I'd have to read it for sure, but I think it's like a one time, whatever they can accrue.
I
It's-
thought it was 120 hours, if I
Yeah.
remember right.
Yeah, there's only so much accrual that it can carry over.
Well, I've seen a couple of them come through at $30,000.
Yeah.
So it's something. But anyway, I'd look for a motion to approve Susan's payout.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? The total payout for Susan is $4,641.46. With that, I will ask for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Number 9. Cost allocation. I'll be honest with you, I think this is the first time I've seen this. I don't recall seeing this before. Cost allocation report, I'm gonna defer to you to explain it to them, so I don't sound like an idiot.
Can I see yours for a
Yes,
second?
you may.
All right, so basically the report that you received is required by the state of law, and this is just going by the departments and saying what they believe each would cost for with the depreciation and how much it costs to run with taking into consideration the depreciation of the buildings, equipment, and things like that on it, and for the expenses and stuff. So it kind of gives a breakdown of all the different departments going through the functions, what function it was, and how much it cost for the total requirement. So
It's an interesting at this
it's-
time to get that.
it
amount of
takes-
information.
a little bit to,
Yeah.
So did you generate that or?
no,
No.
no, we pay somebody to generate that. And I did email you guys copies of that. If you want a paper copy, I can get you one, but I did email. It's like 80 pages, so I didn't print everybody a copy.
It's a lot to get through, but I think once you get through it, it's interesting to know what it costs to run each department, especially when we're going through budgets. So a good check and balance, and I haven't had time to, there's a lot of numbers here.
I'd probably take a printed copy so I
Okay.
can look at it a little closer.
You can do that for me too, Susan.
Yep,
Yeah,
I have.
it works better when they're in color too.
Yeah.
It kind of highlights what's going on. So this will be pretty important once we get into the budget time, I think.
I do need approval for you to sign that though.
Oh, okay. Look for a motion to approve the 26 cost allocation report.
I'll move to approve the 26 cost allocation report.
Okay,
No, second.
motion second, is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Make sure I'm signing in the right line.
And then before you guys leave today, I do need a picture of the three of you.
You're some of the best.
I didn't email.
I know, I got it. Today's date for the execution,
Yes.
7th.
the 7th.
If you would make me a copy of that,
Yep.
great, just fine.
I'll print 3 good copies of it.
Okay, the only thing that's left is our claims.
Yes.
So if you guys want to take some time and look through them, that's great. If you want to make a motion, that's okay too.
Because we did email you guys all copies of that too.
Yeah.
I looked through them.
Yeah.
It seems to work better.
Yeah.
Everybody has a chance to look at them.
I'll make a motion that we approve the claims for January 7th.
I'll second that.
Motion second, is there, and the claims amount is $381,166.93. All those in favor say aye.
Oh,
All right, motion carries. So generally what we do is I'll initial copy, we'll put our initials on each page that we've reviewed them, and then they go back to her. So you can't come back and say, I didn't know, or I didn't know, I didn't see that. Yes, that's what that's for. Yes, you do, don't you? What's the word to you? $4,641, looks like.
I do have that in my budget. So that should be okay. But a lot of that is just because of all the extra elections that we had this past year and not having the 4th person to help carry the load.
I understand.
And I'll have the official copy next week.
Just give you back your folder.
I didn't give them theirs.
Oh,
I
well,
just
that's
gave them
special,
this.
then.
You're special.
Okay, let Scott get his signature on and then we'll adjourn. And look for a motion for adjournment.
second.
And adjourn. Thank you, gentlemen. Don't worry, it'll get worse from here.